I was reading a paper which was published on Lennart Green. He's said to be one of the exponents of card magic, and his techniques are such well built and layered that it's such a delight to watch him. In that, a description has been given about how conjurers or magicians are different from jugglers, as they used to be considered in earlier times, because juggler is such a term which is not used in a positive sense. He can be the one who is antisocial, who's the one who's pickpocket, or is trying to deceive, while the higher art form of hand dexterity is used in the form of juggler, and it cannot be compared with that of a magician. Magician uses a mediocre level of hand sleight, but he uses his brain, and his act is composed of many smart way of handling the things, and there are a lot more things going than as compared to simple hand dexterity. The Robert Houdin was one of the pioneer of the magic, who brought the magic from the streets, from the crime streets, to a respectable form of society in the front of theaters. The magician who used to be a part of burgess society, he used to dress like a gentleman, and he is the one who can be associated with the higher class, and not necessarily he used to come from those criminals and the person who is being seen with a doubt. So instead of relying his magic and his influence or impact on the mind of the audience, or the reason behind his workings and illusions on the witchcraft, he tried to distance his magic from witchcraft, and he wanted to be a man of science who uses the pioneer of science and the exponent of experiments and the things, the logic which are way ahead of its time, and is being shown as an exponent of modernism rather than superstition or magic. In fact, he tried to kind of attack all those kind of superstition which used to fool the people and take the advantage out of it. He wanted to make it clear that it was all science working behind the workings, and the things you are seeing, it's being just shown in a manner that it looks like magic, and it can be seen or conceptualized as a part of entertainment rather than befooling or act of witchcraft. So there have been many persons who have changed and influenced the magic as it has evolved through the time, when there had been executions for performing these tricks, and if found guilty, they were hanged, burnt, crucified, and other forms of painful deaths. So magic has come a long way from handling those tough situations when it was being seen with doubt, and now it is really important to not just copy the magic, the acts as it used to be performed like 100 or 150 years ago. It needs to be modern and connected with the present. Like a coin, that, like the routine of miser's dream, in which the performer used to pluck the coin out of and throw it into the utensil, made sense 100 of years ago because it used to be powerful and that had some value. But today, if you're plucking the coin, you're beggars, or another person working on the street is better off than you making notes at least. So there has to be transition, there has to be modernism and the idea to connect with the present. Then only you can succeed. And many people buy some gimmicks, go visit a magic shop and try buy some those stuffs which declare themselves to be magical, and they think they have become magician, but the truth cannot be far from that. There are so many elements of showmanship that can be learned only by experience, and not many. I think 95% of people who call themselves magician don't know about that. An act is not necessarily a combination of tricks, it's much more than that. And as you'll evolve, you'll realize what impact one magician is having even after he's mediocre and is successful, as compared to the one who is such a great life and magician and still is not that successful. So there has to be that feeling that when people come, they go watch the person who has got the personality to attract the audience and not just his tricks. And together it makes something that is bigger than an act. And together with a person, it is magic. And it's truly magical when the person has learned all those techniques and philosophies of a magic. So, looking forward into that directions, and I was watching a documentary by Paul R. Wilson, and the name of the documentary is Our Magic. Our Magic was also a book written by Masculine. Masculine was one of the greatest magician group, who came up with such a big stage illusions and made a name. And I'm not sure whether in US or Europe, I think it was in US. They had written a book along with Devante, Our Magic. It's a great book. I've got its soft copy but haven't still gone through it. Maybe one day I'll ensure that I learn all those principles, subtle things that make a performance strong and meaningful. So that's all from my side today. There you go. Bye.